What up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back with the stream for the unseen, man. For those of you who's going to be new to this as you come in, uh, this is the channel for the underground. You feel me? So we can come together, listen, and learn about the music industry as we go. And while we wait for people to come on in, it's tradition to speak about something, like do an article of somewhat. And the one thing that I definitely want to touch on today is being your own man. See, one thing about underground musicians and musicians all the way around, you so desperate to find success as soon as you possibly can. And that can come back to crippling you. But yet, some of these that people go and seek out this notoriety is if I can get a feature on this big name artist project, if I can get them to shout me out, if I can just get a record label to see me and I'm a blow up automatically. That's it. I mean, there are artists that have proven that that is possible, but the reality of that happening for the vast majority of us, it's not really in the cards. And a lot of these people that seem to have done such a thing, like they just randomly uploaded a song that just went viral by itself without any promotion and all that. A lot of those guys people question as being industry plants. You feel me? So these are all things that are not sustainable for you. It's very important for the underground musician to be themselves, to build up their own notoriety, to build up their own audience. Because when you do that, then you got exactly what all of these people out here want. Like, that's the way you build up your money, build up your notoriety, build up everything is with the amount of people that you got surrounded that's willing to pay for your projects, that's willing to come out to your shows, that want to straight up support you. And when you have a lot of those, then you got the capital to do anything you want in this game. Real talk, when you look at the music industry as it is now, people aren't getting put on that doesn't already have such a thing. Now, getting these features and all of this stuff, it can help to build that. But you are better off trying to stack up your money and reach out to individuals first instead of going directly to the big name artists hoping that you blow up. And the reason why I definitely want to touch on that is because when you look at the whole Eminem Kamikaze album, because on this album, he is all but just dissing everybody, Eminem, whether it's people in the commercial industry, whether it's the promoters of, when I say promoters, I mean the media people like Charlemagne the God and such. Like, he's dissing everybody. And then you see the reaction that all of these people were having, whether they was or was given props to. Like, a lot of people was just straight up celebrating. Like, when the diss that Eminem gave to Machine Gun Kelly, when he finally heard that, he cracked a bottle of champagne. Like, are you celebrating that Eminem just dissed you? And yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's celebrating because he believes that that core audience that Eminem once had is going to now look at Machine Gun Kelly and he's going to see a lot of success from it. But this ain't Eminem when he did the Marshall Mathers album. What up, Sean? What's good, bro? But that ain't Eminem who did the best albums when he was the most notable act in all of the world. This ain't the same Eminem. So for you to be celebrating because you're Machine Gun Kelly and he shouted you out in a diss and all that stuff, man, it's not going to pan out as great as you think. Because like this new album that he got jumping, it's selling more than Revival, but it's not going to be anywhere near to the level of what it once was. So with you doing, and you can tell that Machine Gun Kelly, he was egging this on from Eminem. Like, he was intentionally, deliberately trying to get this so he can continue to build up his own recognition. And I mean, it is what it is now because he got exactly what he wanted, but it's not going to be as potent of a level up as he think it's going to be. Like all of the time that he spent trying to get this, it could have been better suited with him promoting the artists that he got underneath him. Hmm. And that's really why I'm saying build yourself, build your own imprint. You don't need anybody else to show you how to be successful at this, man. Like, I mean, we all could use pointers. We can all use individuals telling us stuff like seeing what's happening in the game. But yet, as far as somebody putting you on, as far as getting a feature off of a big name that you're going to overpay for, as anything dealing with these upper echelon acts and such, man, it's not as valuable as you would hope because when you end up getting something like that, some people may listen to your project, but they only going to listen to that particular thing, man. They're not going to particularly listen to you. Mm. But that's pretty much it for that, man. Is we're not going to have a super long show today because I'm already running a bit late. Like, reason why I'm running late for this is because my computer was just having issues, and it took me a lot longer. I had to defrag, I had to restart, I had to do all of that stuff, man, before I could even hop on. But let's go ahead and talk about some of these things, man, that's been happening, man, that I think a lot of people are interested in. As TDE, the boss of TDE, Top, he pretty much said that TDE is going to, well, Top Dog, he's going to release 2 to 4 albums from Top Dog this year. And a bunch of people don't really know exactly what it is. Like a lot of people thought it was going to be Isaiah Rashad. Some people thought it was going to be Schoolboy Q. But now they're beginning to tell you that Kendrick Lamar is about done with his new album. And they're going to probably try to drop it as a surprise because there hasn't been any singles, there hasn't been anything like that. And you know, I'm all for that. I'm all for a new Kendrick Lamar album. It's gonna be interesting. Like Isaiah Rashad said that he already heard like the vast majority of the joint. And then he also said that Schoolboy Q is gonna drop the album this year as well. So you might be looking at more than 4 to be real, because I think SZA is due, Isaiah Rashad is due. We gonna see where it goes, but cause what's his name? Do What Thou Wilt is really due for another one. I can't ever remember his name. We have to wait for a new Kendrick album next year. I feel you. Like, if that would mean it'll be a dope Kendrick album, yes, I for next year. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. You feel me? Like, does it feel like to you, Sean, that they're rushing this Kendrick album out because it wasn't that long ago that the last album, DNA and all of that stuff came out, man. And the thing about Kendrick is he always has the themes. He always tries something new and different. But I mean, if he's ready, then I'm all for it. But if he's not ready, I'd rather them not rush it. Ab-Soul, yes, Ab-Soul. Like I definitely would like to hear some progression from Ab-Soul and see what he can do with the next project, man. Because that Do What Thou Wilt was not that bad. I mean, honestly, I wasn't huge on it, but one song has survived on my playlist. And the whole thought process of everything that he had going in that project was actually pretty decent. I think it was one of the better albums that TDE has dropped outside of Isaiah Rashad and super early Kendrick Lamar. But we'll see, and hopefully, because you guys know that I've been critical of TDE for quite some time because most of the acts really hasn't gotten to that level of what Kendrick Lamar is. And you know, not all labels are going to have a stable of great MCs to be like number one acts uh who was it? Like Dr. Dre did multiple times, like a bunch, like a few other like actual labels and stuff. But that's one thing that I was kind of hoping that TDE would bring to the table. Like have a whole big stable of number one acts, but yet it seems though it's Kendrick and everybody else. Blank Face, I like the promotion. I like the videos on how he was dropping videos for a bunch of stuff, and some of them was connected, and the videos were pretty dope for Blank Face. But I wouldn't say I really enjoyed that album, though. What song was it? It was the video on Blank where it was just some random guys who hopped up in the car that they stole and just rolled around, and you seen the beginning and the end of them, and it all just went with the car. Like that joint was fire. What up, Ja? Good Kid, Mad City was I wasn't big on To Pimp a Butterfly. Like Good Kid, Mad City, that Compton song, that's still my joint. I still rocks with that heavy, but I wouldn't consider it being a solid album though. Like the best Kendrick album was Section 80, and that was before the major labels and all of that. But he has his moments in every album that he's released. But he hasn't had the pedigree of great albums that you would somewhat expect from the guy who's widely renowned as being the best MC. Well, one of the best MCs. But that's the thing, though, bro. All of these top MCs that we see right now, they really don't have top great album, like classic albums. You feel me? Like people mainly point at J. Cole, mainly point at Kendrick Lamar as the best rappers in the game. And I know a bunch of people will point at Drake. I don't think Drake is one of the best rappers in the game, but some people will. But I will say none of them have an absolute classic album. I mean, the closest that you will get will be J. Cole. Y'all can y'all yeah. Y'all can't hear me? The feed can't hear you? Mic check, mic check. Let me see if I can tone it up. Uh oh, my man. But my thing is, man, the only album that I consider to be close to classic from the top MCs that's in the game right now would probably be the J. Cole album that had Crooked Smile and all that stuff on it. I can't even remember the name of that album, but that album went hard. But that wasn't even really the best album of that year either, because Wale came out with something really dope at that time too. But I mean, that was completely off topic and all of that, man. To me, Kendrick's catalog is one of the best I've ever come across as hip hop fan, because Section 80 was great too. No, it was before Forest Hills Drive. It was before Forest Hills Drive. It was Crooked Smile. It was before he started going into the whole theme albums where he's just doing nothing but dry production and all that. Like it was at the time where he was still getting somewhat of a push on like the mainstream level. And I'm not mad at the direction in which he decided to take, because he's super profitable just doing what he's doing now, which is all good, but yet the quality of the music has dwindled off. But it was let me do a quick search. J. Cole Crooked Smile album. Born Sinner. Born Sinner was the one. Yeah. Born Sinner was pretty fire as far as the albums go. Like, yes, he had like a few classic mixtapes, but when it comes to mainstream albums, you tend to want to rate the best MCs based on the best bodies of work on albums and such, man. And I think Born Sinner was his best project, the closest to a classic that all three of these MCs pretty much had to offer. Uh, but what's the next thing I want to talk about, man? The next thing I want to talk about, have you guys seen uh Joe Budden and his pull-up series? It was Joe Budden is doing a whole bunch of like series because he's popping right now as the guy who's talking all of that stuff, man, just being in the promotional limelight and all that, man. But he got a series called Pull Up where he literally pulls up on artists and he's being he's being Joe Budden to people. You feel me? Like he's gonna hit you with the harshest of criticisms and talk that trash, which is entertaining. In which the next episode he got coming is with King Crooked. And now this one seems to be they're talking a whole bunch of stuff because they dropped a few snippets of it, and these snippets were really interesting, man. Where it came off as King Crooked putting some of the blame of Slaughterhouse falling out on Joe Budden, on the fact that he never promoted anything with uh with the whole team. Like he wouldn't like email out or tweet out or do anything with kind of promotional items that they really needed to promote for the albums. So he feels as though that he somewhat sabotaged them. Uh, and then Joe Budden, the main thing that I definitely kind of agree with what he said is his brain is split in two when it comes to Slaughterhouse. It's either somebody made a whole lot of money out of Slaughterhouse, and it wasn't Joe, and it wasn't Crooked I, and it wasn't Royce. It was none of them. Really, somebody behind the scenes took them for all their worth, or the other side of his brain says that we were just mismanaged all the way around and nobody got any money. And he started pointing names. He's saying, like, yeah, and the geniuses of what Paul is and what Eminem is, they completely mismanaged our entire brand. And I feel as though both have some truth. Like, do you really think that Slaughterhouse was promoted well by Eminem? Like, honestly, Eminem, the only person that he's ever put on successfully was 50 Cent. And 50 put himself on. Like, all M did was pay him the money that other people wouldn't pay him and co-sign him to get him onto the labels and such. But as far as seeking out talent and building a label and being successful at it, M is pretty terrible. M is pretty terrible at a bunch of other things about music, you dig? Like, he's not that good of a producer either. Like, he had some production way back in the day where it was somewhat decent, but then you realize M is producing the same song over and over and over, and he can't get away from it. Even with bringing in musicians to play underneath him, he's still not that good. But yeah, Slaughterhouse definitely didn't get any promotion at all. And I mean, Slaughterhouse was known out there, like on the grind in the streets and all of that stuff, man. The core audience was already there. They just needed the slam dunk. They just needed somebody to lay up the ball so they can slam it. You feel me? But M definitely didn't do it. Yeah, Ja. M is getting old. But it is what I mean. I feel as though as long as people are showing up and buying your stuff, as long as you're coherent enough to make songs, you can continue to make songs. Like there's no time limit to this. You feel me? As long as you are able to live off of music and people ain't like really disappearing up off you, man, and you can't afford to do music no more, then you can do music for as long as you want to. Just realize you're not going to consistently be the number one artist forever. As we see this with M, we see this with Jay-Z, we see this with everybody. Your time will come to an end. So therefore, it's very important for you to set yourself up for success, which is something that I've talked about before. Like with Chamillionaire. Chamillionaire, he only had like Riding Dirty as far as a mainstream success. I'm a pretty big fan of Chamillionaire. Like he's very skillful. Like I love him all the way. But yet he hasn't had a top name album or anything like that. Yeah, you could probably say that ever. But yet he's still at courtside of the NBA finals, iced up, looking really good out there, man. Like he's really getting his money. And the reason why he's still out there getting money is because he set himself up for success after that. Like the way he said it was, I was in the music industry and all I would do is just go around and meet people, shake hands, and I would rub shoulders with millionaires at the max. Like a lot of these dudes in the rap game, they're not even paid like that, but he's rubbing shoulders with millionaires. But when he realized that, okay, I can go into the tech sector and some of this rap money to begin to put money on certain projects that's coming out down the line, he realized he started rubbing shoulders with billionaires and told him where the money was at. And he made his transition into the tech sector, and now he's good. And that's what a lot of these rappers need to do, man. Because I really feel bad seeing like older rappers continuing to rap, continuing to tour when they obviously don't have it no more. When they obviously don't have much more to talk about. They lost the enthusiasm. They're only in it because they ain't got no other means of income. They didn't set themselves up for success. Like if you go back to the old school, there's a rapper. He made the song "Funky Comadina." oh, I can't even remember his name, but the Funky Comadina was like a drink from a long time ago, before my time or whatever. It was like a green drink that would smoke or whatever. And this was his one and only. He was a one hit wonder type dude. But so he dropped Funky Comadina and went on tour with it, and it was the biggest song on tour. Facts. We going back, bro. We going back. But it was the biggest song out there. He went on tour, and the thing he did, which was genius, was everywhere he was on tour, he bought up a different property, bought up some apartments, bought up a hotel. Whatever money that he got from his tour from that date, he immediately bought some real estate right then and there. So by the time that the tour concluded, he didn't have much money, but yet he had so much invested in real estate that he was pretty much set forever. Like hotels and all that stuff, man, they are pretty good money givers. I don't know whatever happened to his money though. Like I don't ever, because the bubble busted and all of that stuff a while ago. And hopefully he got out before he lost everything. But yet, these are all things that you can do so that you don't have to be the rapper that's getting old, that's just dissing everybody so that because you felt as though your last project made you seem like you were irrelevant and stuff. But back on topic, because we drifted completely off. Like Joe Budden is actually coming out with a new podcast too. It's called The State of the Culture. It's going to have Remy Ma on it and somebody else. I forget who the other person is, but I think that's going to be dope. Like Joe Budden and Remy Ma together, because I mean, I've never really watched Remy Ma on what is it, Love and Hip Hop that she's on or something. But I hear all good things from the people who like to watch those types of shows. And it could definitely help her be more successful as well. Yeah, I think like the few projects that I've heard from Remy Ma, like since she came out of jail and all that stuff, Remy Ma is a pretty talented act. Hopefully, going in business with Joe Budden isn't going to like take her out of her rap lane though, because there was moments where she was dissing Nicki Minaj and she looked like she could take her from out under and become like the queen of hip hop that everybody wanted. There was moments of this, but yet for her to go into podcasting or something with Joe Budden, that might take her down a bit into that lane of being a personality more than a musician. Side note, because I'm a petty motherfucker. Did you see Nicki Minaj titties was all out for the show that she did? Like like I said from a while ago, I'd smash just to say that I smashed, not for the pleasure. Just so I can splow up God and say, yeah, man, I did it. Thank you. And he'll tell me, yo, you got your stroke game for me, right? Like, I know, God. Thank you for everything you blessed me with. Ah, what else should we talk about? Uh, you ain't seen the titties, brother? Yeah, the young buck thing. I'm like, well, I mean, I see him trying to clap back about the tranny saying that she got evidence of him trying to get up on it and all that, man. But be yourself, man. In this day and age, when you got Lil Uzi Vert getting Bibles thrown at him and he's reading the Bible at his shows, when you got like almost blatantly, openly gay rappers like Young Thug, who's all but out the closet, but yet he won't completely conform it and such. When you got all of this, man, why deny who you are? Oh, honestly, it might help his career out if he just admitted to it. Because, I mean, what is Young Buck actually doing right now? And that MGK diss was I at best. Because I mean, it was well done. I mean, I made a whole review for it. It was well thought out. It was thought out on a level of what Pusha T thought out his diss towards Drake. It's like he learned from that whole blueprint that uh that Pusha T went through with Drake. So it was smart, and he definitely played it right because, as you can see with Machine Gun Kelly popping bottles of champagne when he heard that he got dissed by Eminem. Like he was feeding and pushing for this moment the entire way. Like he wanted him to diss him so he can get more notable and get a level up. You feel me? So it's working out for him the way he thought it will, but it ain't gonna bring like a massive audience to him, I don't believe. But the diss was cool. Like I like disses with the best punchlines. You feel me? Now, I mean, he probably did write it a while. He probably just wrote the song, but yet you can tell he was holding a lot of stuff so that he can have a diss song for him when Eminem come at him first. You feel me? It's like everything from him wanting an apology from talking about how hot his daughter was and all of that stuff to uh how he's not on double XL. I mean, not double XL, how he can't get on Shady XM or whatever. Like all of this stuff, he stored it in his mind. Like when the time comes, this is all my ammunition that I'm going to use against Eminem, but yet I can't come straight out and diss Eminem because people aren't going to respect me for it. I'm just going to be another rapper that's got something against Eminem. So let me be strategic and push his buttons, get him emotional so that he'll call me out and I'll eat off of that. That's honestly how this feels. It's super strategic, but I ain't mad at him. I'm just saying I would much rather him to have spent his time promoting his brand, spent his time promoting his artists that's underneath him because he got some solid Cleveland artists. Like some of this stuff. And I mean, I've never I'd never remember the names and stuff, man. But yet there's a bunch of them that are really good that I listened to that I just didn't know that they were signed to him until after the fact. Like he got a really good ear for music. But the pretty much all underground cats still to this day. And I think he definitely needed to promote these guys because they are good, but they are all from Cleveland and they're all skillful. Uh, I'm probably just gonna have to research it because I got them joints, man. It's just I got so much music. Uh, but something else that I kind of want to talk about that's interesting for the game that all underground rappers definitely should take note of because DJ Khaled done did something unique because now he got the We the Best Home is his new line of furniture that he's selling. In which when you look at his furniture, you can see it's super over the top, super ridiculous, like gold loofahs and stuff like that, and like big like thrones or whatever that you can bring in your crib. Which I mean, it fits with his personality where he tries to over exaggerate everything that he does, try to overcompensate for the fact that he's not really the artist, but yet without him, but he is a key piece of everything. Yep, John, that boy, yeah, he sure did create the We the Best Home set, bruh. And I mean, when I looked at it, some of it isn't like, I mean, I didn't see the whole thing that he's offering, but the few things that I have seen, not all of it is completely over the top and tacky. Some things are actually kind of decent, but it's interesting because as individuals, man, the world is yours to do whatever it is you want to do with it. Now, because other rappers do liquor lines, because other rappers have clothing lines and all of this stuff, doesn't mean that you should have one. Like, sure, those are the more proven things that everybody tends to do, but yet the world is your oyster. So you can do whatever it is you want to do. And DJ Khaled just said, I want to do some furniture. That's it. He used to see DJ Khaled bring records to DJ, and just like that, he getting rooms. Indeed. He getting rooms to go money. Okay. Hopefully, I mean, we're going to see as time goes on, will his audience actually go out and buy this stuff? Maybe he's just the face of it. Maybe like because there is like other people like he didn't design all of the rooms and stuff like all of the furniture and stuff. Like he got somebody on the side helping him with it. So maybe he's just the face and getting paid for being the face and the promotion around it, and maybe he got a percentage of the bit. I don't know. Uh, Well, oh, one other thing that I want to talk about that was going on out there. Did you guys see that Meek Mill teamed up with Puma and they went on ahead and gave away 6,000 backpacks to the kids out there in Philly? Like, again, another thing that I guess as underground rappers, you need to come to understand no matter how positive you are, no matter how good of a thing that you do, you ain't really going to get the promotion for the positive things that you do. Like, if Meek Mill did something stupid, like pop another Willie in the streets of Philly or whatever, that would be all over hot new hip hop. Even if he didn't even get arrested, like if he did something like that, you would hear about that nonstop. But yet, when you do something positive for the kids, something positive for whole community, like you're not going to get the recognition for it. Queen's Flip. What's Queen's Flip, Sean? I'd never even heard of that one, bro. But let's go ahead and talk about like the main thing, the main story, as you can see with the artwork and all of that, man. This Childish Gambino Feels Like Winter video. You guys catch that joint yet? Because that joint is fire. Honestly, the song, I've long considered that to being one of the best songs so far this year when it first came out with the other joints. Ah, Ja. Well, you gotta catch that joint, man, because it's a super animated joint where like he got features of 53 different artists in there. I feel Joyner Lucas is a bit overrated. Like a lot of people feel as though Joyner Lucas is dope and about to hit that next level or whatever, man. But he didn't really do much against Logic still to this point. Where I mean, he's openly been dissing and all of this stuff, man, but it hasn't been anything phenomenal. And then that song that he did with the white supremacists talking to the black dude and they're trying to have open dialogue and all that. Like, I understand the concept and I understand how some people could feel that that's dope. It's just me, I ain't got no talk for no white supremacists. I ain't got I ain't gonna explain nothing to no white supremacists. I'ma knock them out clean as soon as I see them. You feel me? That's where we at right now as a people on what we need to be doing. And that's really why I never really got into that song. But Joyner Lucas, he has some balls from time to time from when I do ever peep out his stuff, man. But yet, I don't think he's upper echelon yet. He got to show me some progression. But that Gambino, nothing special to you? I want more raps from Chuck. Nah, I mean, see, here's the thing, man. I actually like Childish Gambino more as a singer than a actual rapper. Like the last album that he did, The Awakening, I think it was, like where he's doing his own spin on the Parliament Funkadelics. That was fire. That was top 5 albums. Like it was funny. Like this is usually a hip hop channel, but yet it was like 3 out of the top 5 albums of that year was R&B, from Childish Gambino to Bruno Mars to uh I think it was Tory Lanez made top 5 too. Well, Tory Lanez, he raps and sings and all that stuff, man. But for the most part, I like Childish Gambino way more melodically with singing and all of this stuff, man, than he is an actual rapper. But he's been on fire as of late, dude. Like, like I wasn't like super huge on this is America, but yet the energy to it and the fact that it's revolutionizing the game, like that was definitely worth the time as well. Like he's been dropping a bunch of really good stuff. Like Because if you guys have noticed, and I put it in a bunch of the reviews that I've been going, like in that This Is America, he got all of the top acts from 21 Savage to the Migos and all of that up in there, and all they're doing is ad libs. And it's genius because you think you going to pay these weak MCs who ain't got no lyrics a full amount of money for just ad libs, but yet that's what they're really known for. You feel me? Is the energy and the ad libs. So he got the most out of all of them for the cheapest price because they limited themselves and put themselves in the corner. Childish Gambino is a genius. This Is America is good for the video, not the song. I can respect that viewpoint, but me personally, I'm just rolling. I would rather just roll with him as a. But so this feel like the summer, man, got 58 people up in there when you count it, and each of them are showing something that they did during this summer or something that they're perceived as, like how they got Lil Pump and Trippie Redd in there when they just running around, they're like little tiny kids and stuff, like representative of the new generation of what music is right now. Love them or hate them. Most people hate them. I'm not a fan or like that for them in particular, but yet I can see what he's going with right there. How he got Lil Yachty and Charlemagne the God sitting there eating popsicles together. Well, that was something that happened over this summer where well, maybe even before the summer, but where Lil Uzi Vert and Lil Yachty and Charlemagne fell out or whatever, and they came back together saying, you know, we're cool as popsicles right now. I think Lil Yachty said that as he's depicting it in the video. How uh Lil that's how who Lil Pump and Lil Trippie Redd and stuff, they ran up on J. Cole, and J. Cole hit him with the hose and stuff, in which that's symbolic of how the younger generation just keep on getting at J. Cole, and he just snaps on them. Like everything that they're showing in there has something true that has happened. You feel me? And some people are beginning to like read into certain things that really wasn't there though. Yes, and that's exactly what I was going at, John. Like Michelle hugging Kanye after he, well, I mean, see, nobody really knows exactly what that one means yet. Because as you can tell, Kanye was crying with the MAGA hat on or whatever, and Michelle came and hugged him. Now, I think that's pretty much Michelle on that, you know, when they go low, we go high, to it's seeing as though it was right after the Kid Cudi, where Kid Cudi is sitting there dealing with his depression and all of that stuff. Like Kanye looked like he was having his own depression and all but regrets of maybe being used by Donald Trump, which was obvious from the jump, from the photo, for pretty much just having photo shoots and such, man. Like you going to talk about what you going to do with Chicago and ain't nothing been done. One and two, he just hopped out and just shook his hands and all that stuff, and they used that to promote. Oh, Donald Trump ain't a racist. He's shaking hands with Kanye. Do you think Eminem will come back and destroy MGK? What up, KD the GOAT? And yeah, I think it's all but certain that Eminem will come back, but yet he'll be giving more legitimacy to Machine Gun Kelly. So I think that there's a chance that he won't come back at all. Especially seeing as though, as I said before, Machine Gun Kelly is popping champagne because Eminem dissed him because he believes that he's about to catch a very good win based off of that. And he's been waiting for this moment for a very long time as he was egging on Eminem through songs of a while ago. So there's a good chance that M won't come back. But if he does, M is going to slot on. Like there's different levels to this. Hmm. That's a good question, Ja. Will M try to be like funny, comical version M on a disc, or will he go hard? I'm hoping he'll go hard. And I mean, considering the fact that some people are perceiving that Machine Gun Kelly disc to being rather quality, I think M will go hard back. Yes, and that's exactly what I said, John, a little minute ago. Like, he may not have had the song written and ready to go, but yet all of the things that he was thinking about, like all the things that he lived through and talked with Eminem with and all that, he stored that in his mind. And he was waiting for the right moment for somebody to diss him. Now, one other thing about that Childish Gambino video that a lot of people were misinterpreting, like, and I seen some crazy misinterpretations, but it was the Triple X Tentacion tribute, somewhat, with there's a black guy sitting on a bench eating ice cream. Now, the two flavors of ice cream is the same colors as Triple X Tentacion's hair, in like his infamous mugshot that he had from a while ago and all of that. Now, the black guy sitting there, I've seen like some people say, yeah, that's OJ Simpson. When the dude looks nothing like OJ Simpson, but yet I could tell it was like somebody who was on some white supremacy, because any time that they could try to take what the video was showing and spin it off into some kind of racial thing, they will try to do that. But that's not what it was. The black guy sitting on the bench, his name is Andrew Gilliam. He's I think he's actually the mayor of Florida right now. And I think he's actually trying to be the governor of Florida. I could be mistaken. But this is the guy that actually is going to be tasked with the justice for Triple X Tentacion. So that's who he is. He no, because it's primaries right now, I believe. Like, he won his primary for the Democrats, and he's going to go against the Republican later. And I mean, if we're gonna go political, here's just the real deal. It doesn't matter. Well, actually, that one may matter, because if he is true to the game, a governor can do a lot of good things for communities and put money forth towards, like, bringing back like black people in that area. Like mayors, you got black mayors all the time. Uh, and I mean, they'll give you a black mayor because, like, they're pretty much limited in the power that they have. They have to bag the governor. Well, they don't have to bag the governor, but the governor decides what money goes to what cities. And the mayors the mayors pretty much got to accept what comes to them. And if you guys remember The Wire, where Mayor Carcetti had to go to the governor and all but beg and plead to help the student debt that they had, well, the school debt that they had or whatever. And Carcetti decided not to do it because he's going to commit career suicide and he won't be able to become the governor. Like, and that's why it's important for like people, all people, is in fact to go ahead and become governors, like if they'll ever allow it, because therefore you got the power to actually make change instead of sit up and try to do the best of what you got. KD says, what's the meaning behind Bald Man in the video? That one, I don't even know yet. Well, I mean, see, what people are saying is Bald Man is an icon. So is Chance the Rapper, quote unquote icon. And then you got Will Smith's son that just pops up in there, and he got the song Icon. And that's what people are saying is the meaning of all three of them being in that same scene. Now, do I believe that? Not so much. I mean, I think Baldman is more of a I think he's more of a mogul than he is an icon. Well, no. You can kind of put him in icon status because people still get you roll on still to this day. So, yeah, it could legitimately be that they're all icons, or and one made a song about icon, and that's why he's perceived as a child in the video. But at the end of the day, man, in this video, all of it is going to be on your perspective until Childish Gambino comes out and explains, because this is what he does with his music, especially the songs that he be singing on and stuff, man. And now his videos and all that, like he'll put together art and just put it out there, and your interpretation of it will not be right, it won't be wrong until he comes out and say something, and he never does say anything. It's like a formula that the old songwriters from way back in the day, from New Edition and all that, which Bobby Brown came out today, which I'm probably going to try to watch that. But all the old writers, when they would write songs, they would be super ambiguous. You feel me? Like they wouldn't specifically tell you what they're talking about, but yet it would sound good. And the purpose behind that was, okay, if I'm ambiguous and nobody knows what I'm talking about, it's going to relate to everybody because everybody else is going to fill in the blanks of how that applies to them. So no matter how much you try to decipher this this video for Feel Like Summer, we'll never know. It's all like rather ambiguous. Like when Drake is chasing after Future on the bike, like some people are perceiving this as Drake wanting to continuously work with Future, but Future decided to go on about what he wanted to do. But yet, that's not really the case in reality, because I I did hear that they were going to get together again to do another project, and it's not like they completely fell out or anything, is it? I didn't hear anything if they did. Mm. But the last thing that I want to talk about before I take some questions, as this show ain't gonna be that much longer, but is that Bun B album that came out, man, the Return of the Trill, which I did want to make a video for that, but I figure I may not be able to get to it because more stuff is going to come out, maybe even tomorrow. But that Bun B album was pretty dope, bro. Like, it might find its way into my top 5 of the year. As I say every year, like there's always like a legend in the game that tends to come back and drop something that can be a top 5 album. Like who was last year? Uh Last year was Big Boy. Big Boy dropped 2 of the best songs of last year that nobody even like thought it was going to come out. Like, well, true Big Boy fans always know that Big Boy holds that kind of power, but yet I didn't really perceive it actually happening like it was. But this Bun B seems to be like right on that level. You feel me? Boomerverse was amazing, Sean. But this Bun B, man, I'd say like a solid 4, 5 songs, man, was pretty great, dude. Especially I like the one that got Pimp C on there, was called "You a Bitch." Where Pimp C is just, it's like an interview. It's not like a boast or anything like that. But like Bun B is pretty much just spinning off of the things that Pimp C is saying, as the production is fire. Like, and that's the thing about this album. A lot of Big Crit. And Big Crit, I like that because Big Crit was the new age Pimp C, but so long ago. You feel me? So him collaborating with uh with Bun B and all that, man, it's a great thing to hear. It's like how Hobson got so excited that he wanted to call his moms because Eminem shouted him out, and it wasn't on no diss. It was on the fact that he pretty much inspired greatness. But that's kind of how I feel hearing Bun B hopping on tracks with Big Crit. Uh, that Bun B and Lil Wayne song was that wasn't one of my favorites, but I can understand why people like that joint. It was alright. Like my other favorites, I like Trill Over Everything, which I believe that was the intro. That Recognize with T.I. and uh, I think that was Big Crit on there as well. And that Out of Season was probably one of my favorites as well. Yeah, Hobson been ill, but you can tell through his bloodline of how he raps, man, that he was always a descendant of Eminem. Just like you can tell, like whenever you listen to an individual rapper, man, doesn't matter who it is, unless they're coming out with something new, original, which there's nothing new under the sun, as Nas said. But like you can tell exactly who the favorite rappers are of everybody that's out here. And based off of that, you can draw the bloodline all the way back to when hip hop became hip hop. Because hip hop changes every but so often. And there's always one big song that shape shifts everything. Like when you're listening to a lot of the gangster rappers right now, a lot of it is because of 50 Cent. Like, because there was a point in time where hip hop music was nothing but bling bling. We're going to have fun, all of this stuff, because Cash Money was dominating. But then when Get Rich or Die Trying popped, then the whole game went back gangster. Oh, shit. So you can put 50 Cent in the bloodline of a lot of these gangster rappers that's out here. But yet you always draw the gangsterness all the way back to NWA, because that's really where gangster music started. And that's how you trace bloodlines. So even though Hobson was ill for a minute, and he's still dropping quality music still to this day. I mean, he's not as great as he was back when. Like the ill mind of Hobson has been losing all of its fury because he should have just let it go, or he need to get like a better he need to get a better concept the next go round. But yet everybody can be getting traced back. 69 is weak. Yeah, he's absolute garbage. Takashi 69. He's the one that 50 Cent has been like helping promote somewhat. He's 69 is a descendant of Onyx. If you remember, shut him down, shut him down, shut him down. It's like Sticky Fingers. Like the the aggressiveness that he has when he raps, he pretty much is just like You just joking. But he's pretty much exactly like Sticky Fingers, and you can draw back his bloodline from there. Mm, mm. But if you guys got any questions, man, now is the time. Cause I'm about to get up out of here. It's 11:20. Been up on this for an hour. Yeah, I mean, everything in life is all but a repeat, brother. Like I said, Nas has a song that says there's nothing new under the sun. And for the most part, I mean, people create their own variations and go in their own different directions with it. But for the most part, until something like really hot just hits and it's something unique and different, which it ain't really been happening because of the way the music industry controls things, man, then everything is going to be just a different spin off of something that happened before. John, yes, that Lil Kiki still jam. Like I actually went and listened to that joint. That joint is pretty good, man. I rocks with it. Who do you think Denzel Curry is a descendant of? What up, Josh? Ain't seen you up in here till now. Ah, who would Denzel Curry be somewhat of a descendant of? Like, because he's a complex rapper who Denzel Curry is like up north, isn't he? Like, I'll have to really get back to you on that one. Like, because I'm not necessarily. He's from Florida. Yeah, I'm not all the way up on Denzel Curry like I should. Like, cause I did hear the albums, I did review them, but I would have to recap them to start to trace them back. You feel me? But say Liz is a Southern Liz is that's kind of yeah. I would definitely have to go ahead and look that one up, brother. Any other questions before I head up out here? This shit just Kill City like a young Boosie. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Well, hey, man. Think that we had a good show here today, bro. You should do more live chat. Hey, man. I do this every week though. Like every Tuesday, I'ma do the streams and just go off the chats and just talk about what's happening, man. Maybe I'll do it more than once. We'll see. Like, cause these things do get a bunch of success. Like, but there's always video, a lot of music that I definitely want to that I definitely hear that I want to review and all that stuff. Yes, indeed. Much love, Ja. But I'm up out of here, players, man. Y'all have a good night, man. Did you see? Did you saw that interview that said black people are the worst? I've been new Boosie been cooning for a while, and that's not the first time that he said that black people are the worst race. Like he said a bunch of other like reckless stuff, and you see coons like Boosie, just like Kodak Black, just like all of these people, man, and all of them don't even pay him no mind, man. They just trying to buck dance for massa. But I'm out of here for real this time, man. Y'all be easy. Get some rest. Catch y'all in a minute.